Welcome to the summer webinar series sponsored by the sponsored by the Office of Off-Campus Student and Family Engagement. I am your host, Jay Jackson, the coordinator for family engagement. Today's webinar is School of Health Professions presented by Wendy. Please note the following housekeeping guidelines. As a participant, you are unable to speak directly with presenters. You may use the Q&A function on Zoom and the chat feature on the Facebook Live when we are unable to see you all. Your cameras and microphones have been muted for this webinar. Questions will be taken after the presentation. Once the presentation and the last question is taken, the webinar will end for all participants, and you may reach out specifically to Wendy for any information pertaining to the School of Health Professions. Thank you for participating in today's webinar. Here's your presenter, Wendy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Wendy Scripps, and I am the program manager with UAB School of Health Professions. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. I'm super excited to be here today and be able to tell you a little bit about what the School of Health Professions does, the opportunities that we have for your students. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is one of my favorite slides to share with students, as well as their families. If you are interested in an occupation that is going to be hiring and continuing to grow, that future is healthcare, my friends. We are continuing to see a growth. And this statistic up here is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, saying there's going to be an 18% growth from 2016 to 2026. I would like to add that that is pre-COVID. So this stat was pulled before COVID. So I really think we're going to continue to see a growth in that. Specifically, I'm looking at those areas of, prevention, looking at those areas of research from the vaccination standpoint, from just a general healthcare standpoint, but then also because we're starting to see our baby boomers, it's an aging population and there's a demand for services. Also, I think all of us are really, wanting more healthcare, wanting more preventative services. So we're going to continue to see this increase. And, and there's a lot of different opportunities in healthcare. Within the School of Health Professions at UAB, we offer state-of-the-art facilities for our students. We have got an executive learning center, our learning resource center, or what our students call the LRC, simulation space, study spaces. We have several different research centers offered not only on campus, but off campus as well. We have just in general space that's designed by the students. I mean, when we were putting together this building, and as over the years we have done, renovations and updates and things like that, it has all been based on what the student need is, what students want and what they need. Within the School of Health Professions, we offer an undergraduate research program. Now, this is in addition to the UAB University undergraduate research program. So students could be involved in both undergraduate research at the university level, as well as specifically within the School of Health Professions. One of the cool things about our research program is that students are able to earn elective credit. There's some certifications available to students, and they have those opportunities to, have some individual mentored attention. And this is really great for students who are interested in going on into graduate programs or professional schools where they may need letters of recommendation. This gives them that opportunity to get those letters of recommendation. The other thing that we offer for students is the School of Health Professions Honors Program. Now, again, this is going to be in addition to university honors. So as an incoming student, UAB offers opportunities for students to either be invited or to apply to be a part of the University Honors College. But within the School of Health Professions, we have an opportunity during our students' junior year where we will invite them to become a part of our honors program. And they could then, at the end of the day, they could graduate with both university as well as School of Health Professions honors. My office is the Office of Student Recruitment, Engagement, and Success. And this office is really set up to provide a couple of different things for our students. Now, keep in mind, again, this is specific to the School of Health Professions. However, all of the different schools and colleges on campus are going to offer this opportunity. So no matter if your student is within the School of Health Professions, School of Engineering, Nursing, Public Health, College of Arts and Sciences, COLAT School of Business, it doesn't matter what School of Education, doesn't matter which program that your student is in, there's going to be a student services office to provide some services for them. So for example, we offer academic support for our students, tutoring, we offer supplemental instruction. We're also a campus resource referral for students. So if we can assist the student, we help them to determine who best can. And we also focus in on outreach to both the community and to our students, and scholarships specific to School of Health Professions are housed within our office. Now, here's a little bit of information about the undergraduate programs that we offer. The first one that we have is our Healthcare Management Bachelor's degree. This is the business side of healthcare. So this is the side of healthcare that sometimes students don't think about. These are the people who are pretty much running the show. They're program directors, they're CEOs, they're project managers. They're really the ones who are handling the insurance portion, accounts receivable, payable, that type of thing. Again, it's that business side of healthcare. Now, this program is available to students 100% online, and this is like pre-COVID online. So we've always offered an online option to our students, but then we also have it in class as well. So students can pick and choose how they would like to do that. We also offer fast tracks or early acceptance to graduate programs through healthcare management. And we offer that through our health informatics master's degree, as well as our occupational therapy doctorate degree. So if your student is interested in being an occupational therapist, tell them to reach out to me. Let's have a conversation, because our students go from a bachelor's in healthcare management to a doctorate in occupational therapy in 6 years. Total time to get both that bachelor's and that doctorate degree. So great opportunities there. And we have some other programs that we're connecting with and hoping to continue to grow our fast track and early acceptance. We also have our biomedical sciences program. Now, this is a clinical, human-based natural science program. Again, focuses all on humans. So it's not going to have a whole lot of plant and animal-based biology. It's going to be everything from that clinical human perspective. The majority of students in this program are pre-med, pre-dental, pre-optometry, pre-pharmacy, pre-veterinarian, or they are looking at going into a graduate program like physical therapy, occupational therapy, physician assistant, genetic counseling, nuclear medicine, those types of things. Now, biomedical sciences also has some fast track and early acceptance programs with our clinical lab sciences, nuclear medicine technology, as well as our biotechnology program. And again, this is where students can complete their bachelor's and master's degree more quickly and get that early acceptance. One of the cool things about that too, and I know from a parent perspective or a grown-up perspective, this is definitely a perk. Those graduate level classes taken as an undergraduate student come at the undergraduate tuition rate, and it's also eligible for undergraduate scholarship dollars. The other program that Biomedical Sciences participates in is our UAB Teach program. This is for students who are like, I'm not really sure what I want to do. I'm thinking about teaching. Maybe I want to go to med school. Maybe I want a gap year. I don't really know. But the UAB Teach program allows our biomedical sciences students to get not only their bachelor's degree in biomedical sciences, but their certification to teach high school level science courses. all at the same time, no extra time included. Instead of doing a typical full semester student teaching, these students do this over the course of a few semesters. So it really is a great opportunity for students who are just unsure, but thinking, hey, let's check out all our options here. The last program that we offer at the undergraduate or bachelor's level in the School of Health Professions is brand spanking new, my friends. It just started this fall. This is our biobehavioral nutrition and wellness. So this is a nutrition undergraduate degree. Perfect for students who are interested in learning not only about how food fuels your body, but also how food helps keep us healthy, how different types of nutrition and vitamins, minerals, those types of things affect our body in a lot of different ways. How do we take care of our bodies by utilizing our nutritional intake? So a lot more to it, but it's super brand new. So I'm still learning and I'm super excited about it. So if you have some questions about that program, just let me know. School of Health Professions also offers an early acceptance into our Doctor of Physical Therapy program. Now, this program doesn't cut off any time, it just cuts off stress. So incoming freshmen are able to apply for this program and be admitted as an incoming freshman into the Doctor of Physical Therapy or DPT program at UAB. Now, they still have to complete their bachelor's degree, which usually takes most students about 4 years. And then the physical therapy program is a 3-year full-time after that. But we're talking in about 7 years, you can have your doctorate in physical therapy. Now, it's a pretty competitive program. We do require that students be admitted to UAB by May 1st. Students must have a 29 or higher on the ACT. This is not a test optional program. Students do have to produce ACT or SAT test scores to qualify for this program. And you do have to have a 3.5 or higher overall GPA for consideration. We had our first deadline come up on June 1st. My apologies that the second deadline is not up there. That deadline is going to be coming up in July, I believe. But if you have a student who is interested in the physical therapy program, just have them reach out to me. This is just the graphic about the UAB Teach program. Again, such an amazing program. And this is not just for biomedical science students. If your student is looking at biology, chemistry, physics, engineering, they would have that opportunity to participate as well. We also offer 4 undergraduate minors. So if your student is looking for a minor, we offer it within both our nutrition sciences, healthcare management, our biomedical sciences, and we also have an additional health information management minor. So these would be something that would be additional to their undergraduate degree. Now, I'm going to briefly go through our graduate program. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about these. I just kind of want to show you some of the options. But I did want to show you this slide. This is my second favorite slide. This is talking about graduate programs. So I know a lot of you have got students who are interested in going to a professional school. So a professional school is a med school, dental, optometry, pharmacy, veterinarian, chiropractor, all of that is what we call a professional school. Others may have students who just want to go into graduate programs like a master's degree, so physician assistant, students who may be looking at doing the doctorate in physical therapy or the occupational therapy, genetic counseling, a variety of different programs. So there's a few things you have to know about. And it helps to talk to your student about this so that they're aware of these different program requirements. So if your student is going on professional or graduate school program, they're going to have a bachelor's degree. Now, typically speaking, programs don't require a certain bachelor's degree. So for example, UAB's med school, UAB's physical therapy program, physician assistant program, we don't care what the bachelor's degree is in. Like for med school, you could technically be history pre-med. it's going to take you a lot longer to get into a med school program or even a PA program, simply because there's a lot of prerequisites at the undergraduate level that are required. And those prerequisites are not going to be in a history program. So if you're thinking about going into something, whether that's direct patient care or more behind the scenes or diagnostics in healthcare, I really encourage you to talk to your student about looking at a bachelor's degree within math, science, a STEM-based, healthcare-based field. All of the undergraduate programs in the School of Health Professions provide those prerequisites, those undergraduate classes, things like chemistry sequence, physics sequence, all those different things that are required to get into graduate programs. Now, every program is going to have their own specific prerequisites. So we will work with your student to make sure that they are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing, making sure that they are actually getting that those prerequisites. But now some of these prerequisites are not academics. It could be volunteer experiences, job shadowing, direct patient care. It may be experiences, just, like I said, volunteering, demonstrated leadership abilities, participating in student organizations. Those types of things may also be required of a graduate program. And again, here at UAB, we're working with our students because our goal is to get them into whatever program they're interested in or whatever employment they're interested in. So the next thing is that there's going to be a GPA requirement. The minimum GPA is going to be a 3.0. Super easy, guys. That's a B average. Obviously, the higher the GPA, the more competitive academically a student is. However, bare minimum for consideration into a graduate or professional school program is going to be a 3.0. Now, there's also going to be testing required. So if you have a student who is interested in going to med school, they're going to have to take the MCAT. There's no test optionals for the majority of those competitive medical programs. Some of the tests, it could be the GRE, it could be the DAT if you're interested in dental school. And then again, there are some programs that have absolutely no testing requirements. These are things that early on we want to sit down and chat with your student about just to make sure that, hey, we're all on the same page. We know what our direction is. We know what we're going to be doing. Now at UAB and really anywhere, pre-med is not a degree. Pre-med is only indicating to us that eventually your student's going to be applying to med school, or if the student is pre-PA or pre-PT or whatever the case may be, that is letting us know that they're going to be applying to one of those programs, and we're going to work with them to make sure that they get all of these graduate school requirements. Now, here's just a few of the graduate programs that we offer. And again, I'm just going to kind of let these be up there so you can kind of see that we have these from clinical and diagnostic sciences. That does include some direct patient care. So if you're looking at things like genetic counseling, nuke med, physician assistant. In case you did not know, UAB School of Health Professions Masters in Health Administration program is ranked #1 in the United States. We're crazy proud of this simply because we were #2 entirely too long. So we do have that Masters in Health Informatics, Healthcare Quality and Safety, Healthcare Simulation. We also have the PhD and DSC level. Within nutrition sciences, we also offer a master's level variety of tracks just based on what your student might be interested in. And we also have an entry level doctoral program for a PhD in nutrition sciences. So that's more research based, but if your student is interested in that, then we're able to give them some additional information there. Our occupational therapy doctorate program. Physical therapy, we have the doctorate program. We also have the early acceptance, and we have a PhD in rehab sciences. At the graduate level, we also offer some certificates for our students. So, we're a full service school. In health professions, we're able to work with students from the time they come in as incoming freshmen all the way through their graduate or PhD. You will see my contact information listed. Again, my name is Wendy Scripps. I'm the program manager for student recruitment. My phone number is listed. However, I'm still a little virtual and mostly in office, but I do still have some remote work that I'm doing, and I travel for a student recruiter. So phone calls are not always the easiest way to get in touch with me. Sometimes it's better if you reach out to me through email. So if you want to shoot me an email, that's typically a much better way to get in touch with me. So feel free to take a screenshot or write this information down, and then we are going to move into our Q&A session. I'm going to leave that up for just a few seconds while we start looking at our Q&A. All right, my friends, let's see here.
All okay, right. Wendy.
Hey, yes, how are we doing this?
Here you go. Here I am.
Okay.
So we have a question about someone wanting an advisor for pre-med. Mm-hmm. How would that work? And can they have it in addition to their academic advisor?
Actually, yes. So students who are coming in who are pre-med, they're going to be assigned a pre-health advisor. So this pre-health advisor is going to be for medical, dental, optometry, pharmacy, veterinarian, whatever the case may be. They're going to be assigned a pre-health advisor, and that advisor is going to work with the major advisor. So for example, if your student is biomedical sciences pre-med, the biomedical sciences advisor as well as the pre-med advisor are going to work together to make sure that students are getting everything that they need. Now students are assigned that, and they can see that through their BlazerNet, which is their student account. Miss Chelsea Tucker through the College of Arts and Sciences pre-health advising is who takes care of our incoming freshmen. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so our next question is, do you have to have a master's degree in order to go into medical school?
You don't. You can get directly into medical school a couple of different ways. I mean, one is the med school does have an early acceptance to medical school program. So we do have some students who come in that way. Now, if your student is incoming student for fall, starting in August, that's already been decided for this fall 2021. However, if you have students who may be coming in later, like next fall or what have you, there would still be some opportunities for them, but students can either come in through the early acceptance or they can come in directly from undergraduate. So no, you do not have to have a master's degree. Some students will go get a master's degree, but you do not have to have one. Sorry, that was a very long-winded answer to a very simple question.
You're fine. And also, can you tell me, does the school have a shadow program?
So most of, COVID has been so good to us, I must say. Right now, shadowing is difficult. It is difficult for all of us. One of the things that's going on with us within the school of health profession and working very closely with UAB Hospital and UAB medical facilities is basically that we have students who are still trying to get all of their clinical hours for graduation, that type of thing. So we do have some shadowing that will be offered to students. We will make some recommendations on things for students to do. And we also have, there's several different volunteer programs within the UAB hospital system. There's also several summer programs that we work with students to help them to obtain some shadowing experiences. Mm-hmm.
When do you recommend students let you all know their intentions to go pre-med?
As soon as possible.
So during their freshman year, would that be first semester or second semester?
I mean, if the student knows first semester, go ahead and let us know. The earlier, the better. So you can go ahead and start getting all those prerequisites, both academic as well as non-academic. And it just helps us prep you, making sure you're taking the classes that you need. A lot of times students need, this Math 106 before they can get into their chemistry classes, or you have to have certain chemistry classes before you can get into other chemistry classes. So the earlier that we know, the better we can work with your student.
Another question that we had to come in was, where can they find information regarding the Fast Track program for health information management?
Mm-hmm. For the health informatics, if you will email me, I will send you the link for that. So students who are coming in and they are incoming freshmen and they're doing healthcare management to Health Informatics, the fast track program, we offer that to students in most students in about 4.5 years. So they'll get both their bachelor's degree and their master's degree. So send me an email. I'm also going to drop in the chat.
I was going to say, could you put your information in the chat for everybody?
I am. I'm actually going to put the School of Health Professions email in there because it's easier to remember. It's SHP, like School of Health Professions at UAB. You'd help if I spelled that correctly today. At EDU. That is our main health professions email. It comes straight to me though. I check it. So,
and Wendy, can you make sure when you drop things in the chat that we're sending it to panelists and attendees? I'll make sure I can get it for you.
I got it to all panelists
and attendees.
All panelists and attendees. All right, hold up.
It's okay.
My apologies, friend.
No, you're fine. We're in this together.
There we go.
So you stated that freshmen could let you know during orientation. What orientation sessions are they able to let you all know their intentions on being pre-med?
Students, whatever orientation they come in on. The earlier the orientation, the better selection of class times. Okay. So if you have a student who is not a morning person, the earlier they get registered for orientation, the more opportunities they'll have to take classes at a variety of times. Eventually, we will hit the point in our orientations where those times are just going to be limited. So yeah, you just tell your academic advisor at orientation, be like, hey, my student, your student will do that. They'll say, hey, I'm interested in going to med school, and we'll start working with them there.
Okay. So now, Wendy, do students need to find volunteer opportunities themselves, or will the School of Health Professions help them find those opportunities?
So if your student is majoring in biomedical sciences, healthcare management, or nutrition at the undergraduate level, we're going to work with them. We're going to give them opportunities to do volunteer hours within the school. We are also going to give them opportunities to get involved through the different organizations. So biomedical sciences has a B&D, student organization, healthcare management has a healthcare management student association. We also have several different clubs, groups on campus that do a lot of volunteer work. Many of our students will get that volunteer work through large university events, like UAB hosts an event called Into the Streets. In the past, we've had alternative spring breaks where instead of students going to the beach or the mountains, they're going to do, work with Habitat for Humanity or whatever the case may be, fraternities and sororities. We get a ton of volunteer hours that students do through their sorority or fraternity, philanthropy. Students who are in the pre-whatever clubs, so pre-med, pre-dental, pre-optom, pre-PT, all of those. There's also some opportunities for volunteering there. So I can assure you 100%, there's no lack for volunteer opportunities for students right now. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Habitat for Humanities and things of that nature, could you explain more about the fast track programs for us? Could you go in just a little bit more in depth about the fast track programs?
I sure can. So within the School of Health Professions, we have fast track programs that help students complete their master's degree faster, basically. So if you have a student and they know exactly like, I want to be an occupational therapist, no doubt in my mind, 100%, I want to be an occupational therapist. We have the healthcare management bachelor's degree to the OTD or occupational therapy doctorate program, which is a fast track where students will complete that degree in a total of 6 years. Where if a student just did their bachelor's degree, it's going to take them about 4 years to get their bachelor's degree. And then the occupational therapy doctorate program is a 3-year full-time degree by itself. So you're cutting off about a year in these fast track programs. Now, some of the programs are just early acceptance. So it may not be that you save any time, you just save stress. You don't have to, you're not worried as a, Oh, am I going to get into PT? Well, not if you were in the early acceptance program. So, yeah, it depends on which the program it is. I will be happy to chat with you one on one. If you're like, I still don't get it, because I understand, friends, I talk about this every day, all day. And sometimes higher education jargon can be really confusing. That's what I'm here for. Send me an email. I will help get you through the process and make sure that you're understanding. And really, on top of that, even if you're like, hey, Miss Winnie, my student's going to be a neuroscience major, I'll find you somebody over there to talk to. If your student's interested in engineering, I can put you in touch with someone in engineering who can make sure that y'all are understanding the processes and understanding that jargon. So that's what we're here for, friends.
Speaking of helping, Wendy,
Mhm.
if someone is looking to be a veterinarian, will someone help guide them to that field and make sure that all the credits would transfer? How would that work?
Absolutely. So there are two veterinarian programs in the state of Alabama. There's one at Tuskegee and there was one at Auburn University. So you can go to veterinarian school at either one of those programs. Interestingly enough, biomedical sciences is perfect for being a pre-vet student. And that's because so much of the pre-vet requirements are going to be human science based, which is crazy to me, but it absolutely makes sense when you really sit down and talk about it. I met with some people down at the veterinarian school in Auburn and was like, how can I make sure that my students are getting what they need? Also talked with the director at Tuskegee and was like, I just want to make sure that we're preparing our students to apply and be competitive applicants for this program. So they were kind of going through, hey, this is what you need to do, et cetera, which we then obviously we're going to sit down and relay that to the student to make sure that everything is A-OK 100%. And I got tickled because the director at Tuskegee said, I would let my veterinarian work on me, but I wouldn't let my doctor work on my dog. And he said it was because of the types of sciences that you learn. They were like, medical doctors learn nothing about animals. They're all about humans. So just a fun little fact there. Sorry. But yes, we'll work with them to make sure.
That's what we're here for. What programs have the teaching certificate or help getting teaching certificates?
Perfect. So for the UAB Teach program, which is housed in the School of Education, the UAB Teach program participants are biomedical sciences, biology, chemistry, physics, engineering, variety of the engineerings, maybe neuroscience. I'm not 100% on that. I'd have to check that for you. But if you shoot me an email at shp@uab.edu, I'll find out for you.
Yay. So I have two more questions. Are you seeing an effect on math placement scores in the groups of freshmen due to COVID? And also, as a follow-up, how do you work with students that have IEPs?
So for the first question with the math placement, no, we're not yet. We're not seeing any students have any issues with the math placement. Couple of reasons why. One is I always tell students, take it seriously. Like, this is not just like, let me type in and let me do some numbers. Focus on what you're doing. You have 3 opportunities. Like the students have 3 chances to take this test. So, you can take the math placement the first time. And if you're like, I didn't do exactly how I wanted to, there's going to be some modules that the student can complete and then retake the test. So there's 3 attempts to get this score that you need. So as of right now, we're not seeing anything. We'll see what happens over the course of this next year. But as of right now, everything's all good. And if the student feels like they need some prep, some test prep, tell them to holler at us, and we'll just make sure that they get, we can make some referrals to some websites. And I always tell students, like, go back and do the math portion of the ACT practice test, because that's a great way for you to prepare for it. As far as for IEPs, we refer students to disability support services here on campus. And then students are able to get with them, they do their thing, and then we make connections with our professors with disability support services so that we can ensure that our students are receiving whatever services it is that they need. So we do this daily basis. This is not a big deal to us. We're ensuring that students are getting 100% of what they need. So we connect up with those two offices and we work together. I can promise you, parents, our number one goal in the School of Health Professions is to make sure that your student is a competitive applicant, whether that's to a graduate program or to an occupation. If they're going out and getting employed right after their bachelor's degree, master's, PhD, whatever the case may be, our job is to make sure that they're a competitive applicant. So we're going to take care of them while they're here. We're going to make sure they're all good. If they come to us and they need some different referrals for different assistance on campus, whether that's counseling and wellness, the health center, disability support services, whether that's, hey, I want to get involved in student media. How do I do that? We are going to make that appropriate referral for your student to make sure that they're getting what they need. That's what we're here for. Take care of them.
All right, we got some more questions coming in.
Okay.
So can you, do you have any recommendations for obtaining scholarship opportunities for the DPT program for a student who is a BMD major and already received early acceptance?
So it would be, are you asking?
Scholarship recommendations.
Okay, so scholarship specifically for the DPT or for the whole program? I'll tell you both. So for students who are interested in getting scholarships for the DPT, once the student moves into that portion of the program, so once they go into the first year as a DPT student, they're going to get a ton of information about scholarships that are available. But those don't happen until your student starts the actual program or right before they start the program for physical therapy. Other opportunities that I would say is I always encourage students to, keep check on their student. We have a scholarship portal where all the scholarships available at UAB is that's called BSmart. And students can log into that scholarship portal and anything that's available on campus will be pulled into their email on their BSmart account, which is the best way to describe it. Also, School of Health Professions specifically, so our undergraduate and graduate students are eligible to apply for our scholarships after they have a UAB GPA. So if your biomedical science student starts in August, in January, your student's going to get an email from us saying, hey, here's some scholarship opportunities. Log in here which will be BSmart and apply for these scholarship opportunities. And we do that every semester for our students once they have a UAB GPA. Y'all got good questions today. I'm loving it.
I know. I'm intrigued. So for people, us layman terms, no college jargon, can you tell us how healthcare management leads to physical therapy and occupational therapy?
Absolutely. If you want to run your own business, you've got to understand finances. You got to understand budgeting. You got to understand HR, the law, policy of healthcare. That's what healthcare management teaches you. So once you become that occupational therapist or that physical therapist, or we have students who have completed PA programs, we have physician assistant programs, we have students who completed med school programs by going through healthcare management. They're then prepared to run their own office, run their own practice, or they're able to have the understanding they need to do what they need to do as far as paperwork is concerned, for insurance purposes, for accreditation purposes, that kind of thing. So yeah, healthcare management helps you know how to run your own business, your own practice. Mm-hmm.
Wendy, can you send us the link for the Fast Track program? And when do students apply for the Fast Track program?
Which Fast Track program?
Let me see. While you're waiting on that answer, can you recap on the math placement test, when students should take it if they haven't taken it already?
Students will need to take that as soon before they come to orientation. So if your student is registered for orientation next week, they should have already taken it by now, because it's going to take a couple of days. Sometimes it can take, 48 hours. So 2 days for that to post to their student account. So I always tell students to go ahead and take that math placement as soon as possible, because the other part of that is that that way, if you're like, hey, crap, I didn't do what I wanted to do, I really wanted to get a higher grade or a higher score so I could move into a higher level math class, then you're able to do the modules and take the test again. So yeah, definitely as soon as possible. I encourage students to go ahead and take that math class as soon as you're able. Now, obviously you have to register for orientation and all those kind of things, but yeah, as soon as you are able to go ahead and do that, I say do that. I did just put into the chat for all panelists and attendees, the School of Health Professions undergraduate early acceptance fast track program.
Okay, and they were asking about the nursing P and PA fast track programs.
School of Health Professions does not currently have a fast track program with nursing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think we have some parents that want to reiterate how students should take the math placement very seriously and given enough time for the second placement option.
Students, let's take this math placement test very seriously, because here's the thing. If you're good at math and you're good at math and you go in and take this math placement and just type in some answers, you may end up in a remediation course when you don't need to be in a remediation course. You may end up in a class that you don't want to take. You want to go ahead and get your Math 106, which is like pre-cal, or you may want to go ahead and move on into Cal 1. You don't want to take any of the time for those other classes. If you go in and you take that math placement and you're just like willy-nilly, just typing in numbers, there's a high probability you're not going to get into the class that you want. So make sure you take it very seriously.
Participants and attendees, we thank you for coming today. If we have any final questions, if you would please put those in the Q&A box in Zoom and in the live Facebook Live, put it in the chat feature. And we want to thank you, Wendy, so much for your knowledge and your time. You're just awesome. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I love that. We had a grown-up put in there. It is not multiple choice. It is not. It is not.
No, the math placement test is not multiple choice. So let your students know that.
Yes. Okay. My family, grown-ups, I'm so glad that I got to come and hang out with you guys today. Let's see. Can we see this part? Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm going to put our handle in the chat for the Facebook Live people. Well, just for Facebook Live. So, Wendy, our webinar was recorded, so we stream live on Facebook while you're also streaming live on Zoom. So it's immediately available on the Facebook Live post, but it will be on our website in July. So we will send out updates via the Family Hub once those updated webinars or pre-recorded webinars are posted. So we thank you all for attending.
Again, I am super excited that I got to chat with you guys and answer some questions and tell you a little bit about UAB and the School of Health Professions. I do want to say that if you have some additional questions or you're like, hey, who do I talk to in this department or what do I do? Please feel free to email me at that shp@uab.edu email. I also ask that you give us a lot of grace right now. Many of us are moving back into full-time in the office from being virtual and remote. Orientation is happening 2 to 3 times a week. So give us a little bit of time to respond back to those emails. I promise that you are important to us and we want to make sure that we're taking care of all of our students and all of our new friends. So again, please let me know if there is anything you need. Thank you so much to Off-Campus Student and Family Engagement for allowing me to have this opportunity to share with you about the School of Health Professions. And I hope to see all of you guys in the fall.
See you soon. And Wendy, are you hybrid? Sorry, are you hybrid or full-time in the office right now?
I am. So for me personally, I'm a little bit of both.
Okay.
Hybrid, full-time in the office. However, in the School of Health Professions, our office is open 100%. So we are open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5.
Okay, thank you. And you all have a great day.
All right. Bye, friends.
Bye-bye.